Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you some Domination on the Slums, here with the AN94, VSET Dogs, and the Swarm. And today what we're going to be talking about is the new consoles, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. I've been getting like a lot of comments on videos on like which one I'm going to get, because I've mentioned before that eventually I'm going to own all the systems, because I'm an equal opportunity gamer. And I'll play everything. I don't narrow my choices. I like to broaden them because I like video games. I like gaming. And I don't let any sort of allegiance or fanboyism get in the way of that. Because regardless of what your favorite console or favorite games are, every console is going to bring things that another console can't bring you. Whether it be, franchise exclusives, or services, or online multiplayer. I'm talking, it doesn't matter what it is. 3DS, PS Vita, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC. If there's if there's fun to be had, I'm going to do what I can to participate. So a lot of people want to know what I'm going to do, and what should you do? Because there's a lot of things to take into consideration. First of all, like I've said before, the number one thing is the games. Which games are the most important to you? Which ones do you want to play? The hardware is absolutely negligible. It doesn't matter if you're playing on the Wii U or the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. The hardware doesn't really matter that much. Sure, sometimes there are like limitations. Like, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are going to be, ahead of the Wii U when it comes to what the system is capable of. But we all know that there are plenty of, franchise exclusives to Nintendo that you're not going to be seeing on other systems. And, the same goes for, Sony or Microsoft. It's all about the games. Because sure, there's going to be differences, because this debate is pretty much comes down to Xbox One or PS4. Let's be honest, especially with the internet. The Wii U does have its advantages with its exclusive titles are very, very good, very, very exclusive, and huge franchises that a lot of people are fans of. And also, it's cheaper, and it's got the, different abilities with the whole tablet control and stuff, and, family-friendly games and all that thing. So, let's not ignore the Wii U, because it does have its advantages. But the main part of the discussion goes down to PS4 or Xbox One. Sure, Xbox One might be better in some hardware aspects, and the PS4 might be better in some aspects as well, but those things are going to be negligible. It doesn't really matter. They're close enough, and even those differences are there. It's not going to make a difference in how the games are in the long run. It's mostly going to be about what games do you want to play. What titles are important to you? What franchises do you need to play? Do you need to play Killzone and Uncharted and Little Big Planet and God of War? If that is what is more important to you, then you want to stick with your Sony console. If you need Gears of War, Halo, Dead Rising, whatever it may be, also developers as well. Like, certain developers only historically have made games for specific consoles, and that you like the games that they make, so you want to be able to put yourself in the best position to play the games that you're going to like in the future that aren't even out yet. Especially Halo. Halo is a big one. It made a lot of people who had a PS2 tried out Xbox, whether it be on their friends or one that they got later down the line. It changed a lot of people, because when it came out to the PS3 or the 360, a lot of people went with the 360 because they knew the next Halo was coming out on that. So that just goes to show that the games are the most important thing, and they are the number one factor in how you should decide which console to get and how they actually are decided. That's just really how it works. because the hardware doesn't really matter. What matters is the games, number one, and number two is the service. It's the interface and how things are handled with downloadable titles, DLC, the marketplace, friends lists, that kind of things. And for that, PlayStation 3 has shown that they get day one titles digital, which is important to a lot of people. So that's a cool thing that both new consoles are going to be getting. Who knows if there's going to be like some slight discrepancies, but that's something we can expect from both titles. As far as online multiplayer goes, you have to pay for both of them for PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. PlayStation is no longer free. You have to buy in to play multiplayer. It has a similar thing with Xbox, and you can have a non-paid service so you can still get you can still download things and play Netflix and shit. But when it comes to online multiplayer, you gotta pay for either console. So that's also a non-factor there. And when it comes to party chat and cross game chat and friends list capabilities and all that stuff, Microsoft has shown in this past generation, the current one we're in, I guess now that's about to end, that they've had the upper hand in that case. So is this going to change? Is the PlayStation 4 interface going to be comparable to the Xbox One? Are they both going to improve, and which one's going to improve more? So that's something that we don't really know yet. It's still up in the air. All you have to go on is past experiences, which is the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Trophies and achievements, that's also a very important thing. When it comes to what platform I buy my games on, when it's between the PS3 and the 360, I always get the 360 version if it's available. Because I want the achievements. That's something that's really fun to me. It was like the core thing that I did with my Xbox 360 until I got internet, and then was all online multiplayer. But for the first few years, it was all about getting achievements, and that's still a big thing to many people. And it's something that I still like. I still like getting achievements, that whole rewarding system. And us video game people, we're all about numbers, and if we can get a higher number than someone else, it's another thing to be competitive about and have fun with. Completionists have been a thing since the dawn of games, whether it be on the Nintendo or Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox One. There have always been completionists out there. Now there's an easy way to track it with achievements and trophies and such. And that's another thing that it's an ancillary thing, but it's an enjoyable aspect that's important to a lot of people. So if achievements are important to you, then that's something you have to take into consideration. Trophies, I think we can all agree that the trophy implementation of the PlayStation 3 is vastly inferior to the achievement system in the 360. Who knows if this is going to change and to what end, but that's also something that you got to consider. Maybe all you care about is how many platinums you have, or golds or silvers, whatever. Maybe that's your thing and you don't really care about the numbers, but I just the way that it's handled, the achievement system is better, and that's why I always go with the 360 thing. That's just one of the factors. Also, it's like, what are your friends playing? Are all your friends going to have the PlayStation, or all your friends going to have the 360? That also translates to, like, what did they play before? Are people going to stay true to their companies that they have allegiance to now? Because that's also a thing when it comes to especially online multiplayer. You want to play with your friends, so that's another big thing that you got to take into account. But it's all about the games. It's all about the service. Personally, I'm getting an Xbox One on day one. I've already pre-ordered it. I will get a PlayStation 4 eventually, but I'm in no hurry. I only bought the PlayStation 3 for its exclusives. It's basically a Naughty Dog machine, as well as MLB The Show and Killzone, as well as whatever exclusive titles that they get, regardless of developer. And it's also a Blu-ray player. But, next generations are both going to be Blu-ray players, so that's a non-factor as well. But I'm getting the Xbox One That's just me. I like the 360 better than the PS3, so it gives me a reason to stick with Microsoft. The service is superior, objectively superior, in most aspects. But Sony has a lot to offer as well. So does Nintendo, and eventually, maybe they'll take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I'm gonna get all the consoles, because I like video games. So hope you guys enjoyed. Comments always appreciated below, and I will see you next time.